Hey y'all, I'm Paula Deen, and whether it's Valentine's Day, an anniversary, or just a day when you want to make the one you love feel real special, a great way to do this is with a romantic home-cooked meal straight from your heart. Speaking of heart, you know what they say, that the way to a man's heart is through his stomach. So first, I'm gonna do one of Michael's favorites, oysters in a patty shell. And then for the main course, I'm making a rich maple-glazed salmon with the most wonderful pineapple salsa served over my quick and simple Polenta Hearts. But that's not all, y'all. For dessert, I'm gonna be making my sinful chocolate bundles covered with a chocolate ganache. So light some candles and get ready, y'all. Romance is definitely in the air. Hey, y'all. Y'all just stepped in and caught me writing a love note to Michael. Today's show is all about a romantic meal for two. So what do you say, let's go on in the house and see what kind of mood-setting meals we can prepare. One of the first dishes up is an oyster dish. This is gonna make a great appetizer for you. It's real easy to make. Now we're gonna start with our pastry, and we're using a plain flour. And I'm just gonna mix that up. And I'm gonna add cream cheese and a stick of butter. This is just one of my favorite pastries. In fact, I use this crust for savory dishes as well as sweet dishes. In fact, this is the original crust for my little mini pecan pies, which are just delicious. There we go. And this should start forming a ball, and you can see it's already starting to, there it is, there's our ball. All right, now I'm gonna take this out, and you'll wanna be careful with your blade so you don't nick yourself. Now I'm gonna just wrap this in saran wrap. You can't ever have too much counter space, can you? I think if I had a mile of counter, I'd still use 1.25 miles. Ooh, that cream cheese smells so good in there. Gertie, I don't have anything ready yet. All right, now I'm just gonna kind of work that into a ball, just like that. Great. All right, so we're gonna switch this out to one that I'd made earlier that has gotten a little firmer. All right, this should take about half of this batter, or half of this dough. So I think I'm gonna cut it in half, and then we've got 7 patty shells to make. So I'm gonna divide this into 7 pieces, just like that. We're gonna try a little something and see if it'll work for this. I've got a glass that's about the size of these openings, and I'm gonna just dip it in some flour, and I'm gonna press down and see how that works. Oh, that works good. And we're just gonna keep on going till we have every one of them. And then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna work it up the sides a little bit, because I want these shells to have a little lip on it so that the oysters won't fall out. All right, so I'm gonna come back in with my fingers, and I'm just gonna run this pastry just like this up the sides of it, so it'll make like a little edible container. That's working just the way I wanted it to. Look how pretty and perfect that is. All right, we're gonna put this into a 350-degree oven, and we're gonna bake it for 45 minutes. I'll be checking on it closely though, but we want a nice kind of medium brown crust to hold those oysters. Now for the good stuff. I'm gonna start with 2 tablespoons of butter. We've got our butter ready, and I'm gonna saute our mushrooms in here until they're kind of soft. All right, these are looking good. All right, now I'm gonna just toss some flour in here and stir that up, because that's gonna act as a thickener. All right, and I'm gonna add 1/4 teaspoon of garlic salt and a cup of milk, and let that cook. We're just gonna throw those oysters in there. Speaking of romantical, I think Michael is fixing to get on a ship, but I still want to talk to him. Maybe it'll be all right. What are you doing? Well, I was just looking at these oysters and thinking about you. I can't wait for you to get home. I'm cooking a romantical meal just for the two of us. I love you too. Bye. I just love romantical men. All right, and I'm gonna put like a teaspoon of lemon juice. All right, we're just gonna let this simmer until it really thickens up. All right, this is reduced down and gotten thicker, but I think our patty shells should be done. So let's see what they look like. Oh yeah, they look good. Hey, Rennie, what you doing? Bring our plate around here. Now, Michael can probably eat 2 of these, but I can't eat but 1. All right, now all I'm gonna do is just pile the oyster on top of that beautiful piece of pastry. Now, if you didn't like oysters, you could use a shrimp or a scallop. Now, I'm gonna just sprinkle it with a little Parmesan cheese and fresh parsley. And the dish is ready to go, just that simple. And if your companion likes oysters, they'll love this dish. Oh, it's so hot. This is gonna make a perfect mood setter. And when we come back, I'm gonna be making a maple-glazed salmon with a pineapple salsa. I so hope y'all are enjoying the show. And if you do, be sure to click like, subscribe, and the notification bell so you'll never miss a video. And we'll be right back after the break. I've got the water ready for the polenta. So let's start with the polenta. To me, it's so much like our grits. I've got about 4 cups of boiling water, and I'm gonna put about a teaspoon of salt in it. And I'm gonna slowly pour my polenta in just like I would my grits. In fact, I tell everybody the secret to a perfect pot of grits is stirring it when you first put them in. And then the butter and the cream doesn't hurt that perfect pot of grits. I'm using a quick polenta. And you'll want to be careful because once it starts thickening up, it'll bubble up on you and it's very, very hot. Okay, so that's nice and thick. I think I'm going to add just a little butter to it. All right. I'm just going to dump this over. And depending on how thick a cutout you want would determine your pan size. All right, now I'm just going to cover this and let it chill. This one has been in the refrigerator and it's perfectly cold. Before we start sauteing our polenta, I'm going to make a quick pineapple salsa for our fish. And it's very, very simple, but very, very flavorful. And I've got diced tomatoes. Michael loves hot stuff. So I've got some diced jalapeno peppers that have been de-seeded. Some red bell pepper. Some diced pineapple. A little sugar and a pinch of salt. And we're just gonna mix these up and let them reduce down and get tender for us. Look at those pretty colors. Doesn't that look good? All right, now we're gonna make the marinade real quickly for our salmon. This, once again, is a very simple marinade. We're gonna start with maple syrup, teriyaki sauce, pineapple juice, and a little fresh ginger. All right, and I'm gonna bust up a garlic clove. Just smash that so that that flavor can go through there. And that's all it is to it. And I'm gonna take our salmon fillets and just cover them with our marinade. And I'm gonna let these marinate for 24 hours and really soak up those flavors. I think you'll love that marinade. All right, I've got my salmon that I marinated last night, and it's ready to go on the grill. All right, well, I'm gonna give it a quick spray because I don't want our salmon to stick to it and tear up. Okay, so let's check out our fish here. You know, Michael and I just got back from our honeymoon, and we went on a Crystal Cruise Line to Alaska, and it was so fabulous. We went salmon fishing up there in Alaska, and we even had our salmon flash frozen and shipped to us at home. In fact, this is what I'm cooking our honeymoon fish for him tonight. All right, so we've got that going. Now the polenta that we cooked earlier is nice and chilled, and we're gonna just take our heart-shaped cutters and cut out hearts. Look how pretty that is. And I should be able to get about 4 out of here. Aren't these just adorable? 2 for each plate will be pretty. Well, I need to go ahead and put this in. Now we're just gonna saute this off with our olive oil. Oh, I can smell the maple. All right, let's see how our polenta's looking. You know, this is already done, so we just really need it hot. And I think I'm ready to plate our meal for us. Oh, look at those pretty little hearts. That looks so good. And I'm just gonna top it with the pineapple salsa. Just that simple, and it's ready. I'll take a bite out of my end. That salmon is so good. I don't know if I can wait for him to get home. Well, y'all be sure and come back and help me finish up this meal, because Michael has got a tremendous sweet tooth, and I've learned the way to his heart is definitely through his stomach. I'm gonna be making him chocolate bundles. So I'll see y'all back in a few minutes. I hope y'all are enjoying the show, and I want to hear from you. Tell me what recipes or videos you'd like to see me make by just leaving a short comment below. Now, let's get back to the show, y'all. Oh, now I'm getting to the very, very best part, dessert. And I just call it chocolate bundles. Michael's gonna call it fabulously delicious. But we're gonna start with a puff pastry, just a frozen puff pastry that you buy at the grocery store. And you're gonna be just tickled pink when you find out just how quick and easy this dessert is. It's gonna look like you've spent a lot of time when you hadn't. You'll find the instructions to work in the puff pastry on the box. It'll tell you to let it sit out on the counter for about 20 minutes and thaw out. And then you can very gently just unwrap it. And I'm gonna cut these into about a 4-inch square. So that will give us 4 servings from 1 sheet. Now, I'm gonna make an egg wash because we're gonna bundle these up like a little beggar's purse. Now I'm gonna add a little heavy cream to our eggs. Give those a quick beat. If y'all have ever seen me do brie en croûte, sometimes I do my bries in bundles. Well, this is kind of the same idea for this dessert. Now I'm gonna brush this entire inside with the egg because when we do it up in our little purses, we want that dough to be able to stick to each other. All right. Now for the good part. You can do anything you want to do, but I'm using one of Michael's favorite candies. So I'm gonna put a couple of chocolate candies in it, and then I'm just gonna bundle this up, and I'm gonna give it a twist, and it looks just like a little purse. I heard the other day, in fact, we were having a discussion that men react very romantically to the smell of baking bread. And another little tidbit of information is they say that chocolate releases something in the female brain that is the same feeling that you have when we're in love. So I've got the best of both here. I've got bread and I've got the candy. A perfect combination. All right, now I'm gonna put these on the cookie sheet. And now I'm gonna brush the outside with the milk and egg combination so that they'll be nice and shiny and have a pretty finish to them. You can have these done in just a matter of a few minutes for any occasion, but to me this is a little bit romantical because of the combinations of the foods. All right, now we're gonna stick these in a 350 preheated degree oven until they're nice and brown. All right, let's get these in the oven. And while these are making, we're not done with those bundles yet. I'm gonna make a chocolate ganache, just in case there's not enough chocolate oozing out of that bread. Ganache is just a fancy word for chocolate and heavy cream. So we're just gonna scald this off, and then we're gonna pour it over our broken chocolate, and the heat from the heavy cream is gonna melt that chocolate. All right, our cream's hot. Just gonna stir that together. It won't take it but just a minute to melt that chocolate because chocolate melts pretty fast. You can see it, you know, it's just really, really chocolatey. But look at this ganache, how pretty that is. Perfect. I've got some bundles in the other oven. Oh yeah. Oh my goodness, look at the chocolate bubbling out of that one. I want to show y'all how I'm gonna serve this to Michael. I'm gonna put the ganache on the bottom. And the strawberry and mint right there. And then just a little dribble on top. You can have this fabulous dessert within a matter of a few minutes. Let's see what we've got. Why don't we kind of cut him open and see what's gonna happen. Oh, look at that chocolate. I think it needs whipping cream too. Just put down in that little hole. I'm gonna have him eating out of the palm of my hand. Y'all don't miss this one. Your man or your woman will love you for it. Y'all stick around because coming up next, I've got a few tips to share with you. I so hope y'all are enjoying the show. And if you do, be sure to click like, subscribe, and the notification bell so you'll never miss a video. And we'll be right back after the break. I want to share with y'all some options for your chocolate-covered strawberries. You can do all different varieties with your strawberries. I'm going to dip this one in the white chocolate for white chocolate lovers and cover him with coconut. With the strawberries, the only limitations you have is your own imagination. I love the coconut and white chocolate. All right, let's move on down because I've got these wonderful little edible magic markers. You can use it to write on your plates like I've done here. This has all been done with this little marker. So you wash it and it comes right off. And I think for this plate, for Michael's dessert, I think I'm gonna write him a special note. Meet me upstairs. Hope y'all can use some of these tips. I think you can have a lot of fun with them. You know, I really gave this menu a lot of thought today because this is a romantic meal and I wanted the foods to suggest that there was romance in the air, and I think I've done that. These dishes will really warm up your belly, even on a nippy day like today. So until next time, we send you best dishes, hugs, and kisses from our kitchen to yours. Bon appetit.
Hey y'all, it's Paula Deen. Now, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like it and click the subscribe button as well as the notification bell to be alerted when I post a video. Love and best dishes, y'all.